or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the newbie.
She's the doobie, and this is the show
where we
tote
cannabis
talk
from both sides.
Is that even possible?
This podcast is for adults only, should not be used as a meal replacement, and may contain nuts.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Noobie and the Doobie. My name's Timmy. I am the newbie.
Hi, Mary Jane, also known as the doobie.
Coming up on today's show,
we have our high five list.
We also have the word of the week.
Yep, and we're going to hear from Tim and Janice.
And as well, a cinema review.
Yeah, and we're going to end with what gets me going.
It's a full show, so let's get going, shall we?
All right. Today's a special day.
Oh, today is a special day only because we have had to literally practice for it.
No, you've had to practice for it.
Yeah,
I know what this is. And it's true. It's been hard for me because I've had to practice not saying the word because I want to hear you say the word.
Okay, so today is Diatomaceous Earth Day. Is that right?
Also known as Diatomaceous Earth Day.
Oh, it's a shush.
Diatomaceous.
Diatomaceous. A diet? Okay, so diet.
Omaceous.
Omaceous.
Yes.
Diatomaceous.
Yes.
So it's Diatomaceous Earth Day.
That's correct. And I actually have some diatomaceous earth right here. And I'm going to be super careful with it because it is a poison. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. But I'm just going to set it right there.
So
do you want me to talk about it right now? Get it over with?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if it's a poison,
why is it here? Okay, so...
Yeah, it's like literally this could be our last show?
Don't sneeze. It's fine right now, but do not put it all around. Here, let me put this in front of your face. Don't sneeze.
You do realize that I have sneezing fits.
This is true. I do, but I catch them. Like, you do the first.
Yeah, but I literally, when I sneeze like I no less than, let's say, 15?
I was going to say 32.
Yeah, my record is over 30.
They go on rather long sometimes.
So if I sneeze once, we're pretty much dead because the sneezing will continue. The powder will be all over the thing.
That's true. Okay, so I'm going to put this over.
No. I'm not going to sneeze.
You're good?
Yeah. Let's do this. For the sake of the show, we're putting poison.
We're putting our lives at risk. Just for you.
Right?
Just for you.
Well, I mean, last episode we did a pee test. We actually brought urine into the thing. So now we're bringing poison. What's going to happen next episode? This seems like a very...
I don't know. What would we bring next time?
I don't know. What's worse than poison? We went from urine to poison. Surprise,
I don't know.
surprise. Stay tuned for that.
Right. Maybe a guest. No?
Well, I don't know. Would that be worse than poison? I guess it depends who the guest is.
That's true.
All right. So talk to me about Diatomaceous.
Diatomaceous earth.
Diatomaceous earth.
Okay. So I'm familiar with this because I use it in the garden.
Okay.
But I wasn't really sure what it was exactly. So I had to Google and I found out it was ground up sediment of fossilized algae. Okay. I just thought it was some living thing from the bottom of the ocean that was ground up, which is technically what it is because it's sediment of fossilized algae.
Why is it poisonous though?
Okay. It's only poisonous if inhaled because it's high in silica. And if you inhale it, it can cause silicosis.
Okay.
So that's why I say it's poison. We can't inhale this. So sneezing wouldn't really be the problem, but then the inhalation of the powder afterwards.
Right. So if I sneeze and blew everywhere, if you breathed it in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because there are little tiny particles. And this is why it's useful actually, is because of the particles in the garden at least.
So you use this when you're growing your cannabis?
So Yeah. So how you would use this is it's beneficial to help kill any insect that has an exoskeleton.
Or your villain.
Or your villain.
Your arch nemesis.
In their face.
Right? Okay. All right.
So it would work on ants, mites, earwigs, cockroaches, fungus gnat, larvae, the babies, the eggs.
The larvae?
Yeah. Is that how you say it?
The E at the end always throws me off.
Anyways, that's how I wrote it. So the fungus gnat babies, because fungus gnats lay their eggs in like the ground.
Okay.
Right. And then they climb up the plant. And fungus gnat is like the number one pest that I have ever had to deal with is the fungus gnat. It's almost like, see, I used to make the mistakes of still buying plants from Metro, like just like roses, like a rose bush or whatever. And then I would put it right in my garden next to the cannabis, not thinking that a lot of the stuff that you're getting from the garden center probably has some sort of bug on it.
Right.
So I would introduce the bug into my garden. So this will help with fungus gnats.
So this is rat poison for your garden.
Well, no. Because
not
they
that you
don't
have rats in your garden.
Well, the bugs don't even eat it. This is the beautiful
breathe
thing.
it in.
No, this is how crazy of a thing it works. Okay, so how it works is you lay it out in a line.
Oh, you want to chop up some lines?
No, not those kind of lines.
Okay.
But you would lay it out with a spoon very carefully. I suggest if you have a little dust mask, you can use that while working with it.
So we shouldn't be wearing that now?
Well, no, because we're not agitating it.
Okay.
It's just sitting here. Because in your garden, you would just leave it anyways, right? It would just sit there.
What if I got sarcastic? Would that agitate it? Because that sometimes when I get sarcastic at you, you get agitated.
I don't know. It depends if it's a male or female.
What, there's male or female Diatomaceous?
No,
Earth?
that women get angry with sarcasm. Okay, look. You missed it. Over your head, under your feet. I'll continue on.
I think dirt and earth is gender fluid. Pretty sure.
I don't know.
I don't think there is a male or a female dirt.
Oh. Then I don't know if they'd get offended or not.
Okay.
So,
right.
Or aggravated or agitated.
I don't even know what I would say to like trash talk it. But anyways. So, okay. So as long as we don't agitate it, we don't need to wear the mask. But you would use gloves if you were picking it up?
I would wash. Yes, Timmy, I would.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to go into a long spiel, but generally, yeah.
All right.
I would. So how you would use it is you would take a spoon and you would put it in a line wherever the insects would be crossing. In a potted plant, you can literally just like make a bunch of lines on the bottom. So what happens is, say for example, you have ants in your house or cockroaches, just like any house, not a garden. You take this stuff and you lay it out. And when the insect crawls over top of it, because it's very, very small particles, it's almost like they're walking over glass. And it's shredding their exoskeleton.
But they're so small.
The particles are smaller.
This
is why you don't want it in your lungs.
Because it would like just slice your lung open?
It's very, very bad. That's why I'm like, it's there.
Wait,
to clean up this stuff, you're to use like water or to use a shop vac with a HEPA filter. Don't just grab a regular old vacuum or a duster and start dusting it around the room.
I just have a question for our, just to give me the thumbs up or not to our producer out there. They can see this through that other camera, or should I close my computer? I just want to make sure that people can actually see it.
They can see it.
I'm going to close that down.
They can see it on that one. And probably on yours too, if we put it right there.
So I was concerned that people weren't being able to see it. So just the white powder. But
it almost looks like baking powder.
Yeah, it does. So it's but it's
like a flour.
Like it looks so harmless there, but then you describe it as basically like this killer glass particles.
Like shards of glass for insects.
Like breathing glass.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like a fiberglass type thing. And it's crazy to think that it's just fossilized algae.
All right. So you use this. So is this something you would recommend people are using in their cannabis gardens?
Yep. People have used this in their garden. And that's why I purchased it.
Okay, yeah.
And I made sure that I purchased the food grade one. So this is where I got a little confused in my research. So you can use it in the garden for pest control. Mm-hmm. However, you can also get the food grade, which I did because the garden supplier, they say they only buy the food grade because if it's good enough for you to consume. See, I almost blew it there. So it's used as a supplement. Mm-hmm. So they say that diatomaceous earth, when taken orally, not like don't breathe it in, but to actually like you can eat it or pills. There's like products that have this, lotions, oils you can use with high cholesterol, can help treat constipation. They say it can help with your skin, your nails, your teeth. But then they say it's a poison if inhaled.
Yeah.
So
save yourself, by the way. I've already taken precautions.
It has a lot of different uses. But that's what we're celebrating today. Diatomaceous earth.
Diatomaceous earth. I had never heard of that before, and now I'm saying it correctly. Diatomaceous.
There you go.
Learned a new thing. So there you go. We could, by the time our time is done in this very closed space, hopefully nothing agitates it.
I'm just going to set it right there.
All right. Let's leave the poison closer to me. Got it.
Yep.
All right. I would also like to take a moment to shout out to my middle daughter. Oh. Today is if you're watching this on launch day.
Yes.
August 31st.
I never know what day we're recording for. Is that today?
It gets this is August 31st day.
Okay.
So happy birthday to Aaliyah. She is.
Don't say it.
Point. No, I'm just trying to do it in my own mind.
You know, every year you add one, right?
Yes. Yeah. Every year, which is so. That's a horrible rule because, like, I have 3 children. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have a hard enough time keeping track of my own age, mm-hmm. let alone their ages. And then every single year, every single one of them goes up another year. It's like, how do they expect anybody to keep track?
I don't remember. I don't even remember my own age. When people ask me, how old are you? I just tell them what year I was born. I'm just like, I'm born in 88, and you do the math because I suck at it and I don't celebrate. Actually, it's so funny. My friend the other day, her birthday is on Valentine's Day, and she's hated it for as long as she can remember because it's Valentine's Day. You either get a birthday or you get Valentine's Day, right? But you don't get, well, actually, it's mostly both. It's all just combined into one, and you don't get one or the other.
Right. You just get a we love you.
Exactly. And I said to her, I was like, why don't you I said, February sucks anyways. It's cold. So why don't you have your birthday, just have it in July? And then my other friend laughed, and she's like, MJ, only you would say that. And I love you for it. You would do that, wouldn't you? I said, damn right I would.
Just celebrate it when you want to celebrate it.
See, I'm lucky. I'm born in the summer, so I'm good.
I'm a summer baby.
But happy birthday, Aaliyah.
Happy birthday, Aaliyah. I think this is the first time on the show that we've acknowledged someone else's birthday.
We totally missed my birthday.
I know.
Because it hasn't even happened yet.
Right?
I mean, like, when you're watching it, my birthday already passed. But, like, right now, what day is it today? We're still in July.
I don't know.
Calendar says August.
We're time travelers. That's apparently the day as of today. So, yeah, we live in this by doing the podcast the way that we do, we're in, like, this crazy time warp.
I know.
Of, like, jumping back and forth. And this is what the Avengers felt like.
Yeah, so if we've missed your birthday...
Yeah, we apologize for that. But Leah, I just happened to come across the dates and went, hey, this is Aaliyah's birthday, so happy birthday. So let's so my high five list today.
High five?
High five? Because, like, I know some people ask me, Timmy, are you joking? It's a regular question that drives me crazy because as a professional comic,
well, you're a comedian,
right? Everyone always assumes what's the joke, and like I tell the truth a lot, with huge embellishments, those type of things, but.
I was just thinking on or off stage?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's so many times I'll tell like one of the most outrageous stories on stage and people will be like, is that true? And it's like, no. How did you even get out of the house? Shouldn't somebody be watching you 24/7? But so I literally, this is a true story. I have been trying to practice and I've gotten it wrong so many times to say diatomaceous.
There you go.
Right? Diatomaceous. So as I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I wonder if there are other D words that would give me this much trouble. That's where my brain goes. And you might be thinking, that we go to some deeper place, but it's like, no, like what are the D words that I find super interesting? So I actually have Timmy's high five list.
Can I ask?
Sure.
Is discombobulated on the list?
No.
Oh.
No, but that's a good word.
That's one of my favorites. Because I used to get discombobulated. Oh, I still do.
Yeah.
Often.
I do like that word, discombobulated.
Yes.
I like that there's bomb in the middle.
No. Combobulated. No bomb.
It's not discombobulated? Oh.
No. Now you don't like it as much,
No,
eh?
I
You don't like Bob.
No, because bopping is not the same as
Not
a bomb.
bop.
Discombobulating.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Wait,
Let's
say the
see
word
the
again.
high five.
Just say the word one more time.
Discombob. Like Bob.
Oh, Bob.
You late.
Bobulating. Okay. All right. Well, this isn't on the list.
Okay.
These are Timmy's high five interesting D words.
Okay.
Number 5. Dexterousness.
Like dexterity?
Like dexterous. No, wait. I got this. Watch this. Here we go. Dexterousness. I set this up.
His dexterousness was amazing.
Listen.
Dexterous.
That's how it's pronounced.
That's dexterous.
Dexterous. Yeah, because the guy that got paid to do free dictionary said, I'm not doing the whole word. I'm just going to read part of it.
So it has to do with being dexterous.
It's dexterous.
To having good dexterity with left and right?
Skillful in the use of the hands, having mental skill or adroitness. I should look up adroitness. Done with dexterity. I hate when they use a word that is connected to the word
to explain the word. Yes.
So I don't know what dexterousness means, but I do know that it's done with dexterity, a dexterous maneuver. But I don't know what dexterousness means,
or what dexterity
if you use dexterity. Yeah. So
you fall down a rabbit hole because now you Google dexterity.
I didn't, but I will after this show. So dexterousness.
Okay.
I thought that was a good word. Number 4 on my list of interesting D words is demi-semi-quaver. A demi-semi-quaver. Anyone want to guess what that is? Here we go. Here's demi-semi-quaver.
Demi-semi-quaver.
Demi-semi-quaver. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's a 30-second note in music. So they hold it for like 30 seconds. That's a demi-semi-quaver.
Oh.
I didn't even know that you would hold a note for 30 seconds.
It sounds like something like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston or Celine Dion would do.
In most cases, you wouldn't even use that whole note in a TikTok video.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
I didn't even think about that.
Because so many videos are like 15 seconds long. It's like you'd have to like cut a note in half. The demi-semi-quaver.
I like that word.
It's a good word, though, right? A demi-semi-quaver. Number 3 on Timmy's high five list of interesting D words that aren't diatomaceous. Diatomaceous. Okay. Disaccharidase. And you're saying, did you pronounce that correct? Probably not. But here we go. This is it here, if we can pick it up.
Disaccharidase.
Disaccharidase.
Can I see it?
Disaccharidase.
Oh. That almost doesn't even look English.
Right? Okay, so now this one is a little bit scientific. I found actually that a lot of big words are like in science because science doesn't do anything simple. But it's an enzyme such as invertase or lactase that catalyzes the hydrolysis of the disaccharides to the monochlorides. Not a single word in there do I understand.
I knew mono, but that was part of the other word. So I knew that just meant one. No, that just, never mind. Not that mono. That was like cured by the time I got to
literally. Okay, so I still don't know what that means because I have to go look up invertase and catalyzes and the hydrolysis. But anyways, that's what it is. It's wait, let's hear it again.
Disaccharidase.
Disaccharidase. It is a cool sounding word though.
It does not sound English.
If you were just at a luncheon,
disaccharidase.
Like disaccharidase, and people are like, oh, that guy sounds smart, right? It's like one of those words that makes you sound smarter than you are. Here we go. Number 2 on my list of Timmy's high five. Great D words that aren't diatomaceous. Diatomaceous. Dolichocephalic. Okay, you want to see how close I got that? You think it's even relatively close? Dolichocephalic.
It's got the word phallic in it.
Okay, all right. Now you're just going to take this down the wrong road.
What's the meaning?
It's something with a relatively long head.
It's not.
It is. It's right there.
It's so phallic.
Okay, so it's not phallic, it's cephalic. Now I don't know what this means, but it has a cephalic index below 76. So it's actually like if you're born with a
Oh, sorry,
okay,
I can't
I know.
even.
I shouldn't even have chosen this word. I knew you were going to go to a weird place. What was the word again? Dolichocephalic.
Wow.
It is a cool word, though.
It almost sounds like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Docephalic. Oh, see, I can't even. Dolichocephalic.
Did you almost say
Dolichocephalic. Okay, all right. Let's move on, shall we? Man, sometimes it's impossible to do it.
Man.
Man. Okay, if you saw it,
Crack me
you
up.
got to watch last episode for that one. Last one, number one.
Okay.
You
I
must
don't know if I
admit,
can
though,
take number.
you have to admit, though, that these are pretty cool sounding words. I do like the sound of these words. I can't
They
pronounce
are
them
funny.
again for the life of you or me. Here we go. Number one on Timmy's high five list of great D words that aren't diatomaceous is desultoriness. That just sounds desultoriness. I have a desultoriness quality. That's what I would use in a sentence.
Is it desultoriness?
I don't know. I want to find out.
Yes.
Here we go. So here's how it sounds.
Desultory.
Desultory?
Oh, that's desultoriness. Desultoriness.
Desultoriness?
It means moving or jumping from one thing to another.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Right? She had suddenly begun speaking, and after sitting silently through several hours of desultory discussion about the resistance.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, Okay, say it again.
Desultory.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I completely lost it there.
Desultoriness.
Desultory.
Desultoriness. But you do that. You jump from one thing to another very quickly. So
I'm like the pinball
next
in
time
the
I
machine.
see that happen, I'm going to be like, stop being so desultory.
Calm your desultoriness.
Calm your... Is that the same as like, hey, calm down?
Calm yourself.
Hey, calm the desultoriness.
Yeah, because we know how well calm yourself works.
Calm yourself.
That's
Or
like saying, relax,
it
dear.
also could mean occurring randomly or sporadically.
Oh.
So it's desultoriness. The desultoriness of this, our whole show is desultoriness.
It's
Things
desultored?
just desultored. Yeah, it
is
things
altered.
happen randomly or sporadically. Right? And we jump from things often. So there you go. 5 D words that you've probably never heard about that sound really cool, but you can only pronounce it properly probably the first time. And then it goes weird from there.
Or never, in your case.
And that's all stemmed from my love of the word diatomaceous, which is currently killing us. I'm trying to not breathe throughout this episode.
I know, right?
So let's go to our word of the week and then bring in our friends Tim and Janice.
All right, that's me. Word of the week.
Is the word of the week diatomaceous?
It is not.
Because that would have been interesting, seeing as that is the word.
Yeah, but we already did that.
That's true. We've spent way too much time on a word that nobody cares about. All right, let's move on to a important word of the week.
All right, we've got the word crumble.
Crumble. Like, hey, we talked about apple crumble, I think, in one episode. I love apple crumble. So,
I'm not sure if we did or not. I can't remember, but crumble, yeah.
So crumble. So this sounds like a word that would be just in common. Like,
Okay,
so how does it connect to weed?
So crumble is also called honeycomb for its honeycomb-like appearance.
Okay, someone thought that through.
It is a concentrate, which is also high in THC. It is created by extracting the cannabinoids from the plant.
Okay.
The appearance is going to be just like we talked about with shatter. It's going to be a light golden color to a dark brown. Okay. However, the texture, like I had stated, is going to be different. It's going to look...
Is it kind of like that?
No, it's going to look like a honeycomb.
Okay.
So it's going to be crumbly. Mm-hmm. So the texture is... You can do a couple things with crumble. You can add it to a joint. You can add it to the top of your bong.
Because I've seen you, because you spread your weed, and in one episode you taught me how to roll a joint, and you kind of sprinkle the weed across the roll. So then you would add crumble. Is it kind of like adding like chocolate syrup to the top of your ice cream, like just a little?
Yeah, it's because it's high in THC. You're basically boosting the THC content of your joint as well. Okay. So you're adding the extra boost of THC, but because crumble is a concentrate, it also has a purer form of cannabinoids like the terpenes and the flavonoids as well. So you're going to get a different flavor. Okay. So you're like mixing and adding flavors to your cannabis. But crumble melts, doesn't really burn. So if you're going to smoke it on its own, you need to have, like we talked about with shatter, you need to have a dab rig or some sort of device, a vape specifically for concentrates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why? Okay. So let me. Maybe you said this, and I was getting lost in it. Why would you use crumble instead of just say, for example, it's a higher, you get more THC. Why wouldn't you just get a higher THC flower? Why wouldn't you just, like what would make somebody say, I am going to specifically add crumble to my joint?
Mostly just for flavor, added kick.
Okay.
A lot of times people are looking for like a higher high. If you're doing it recreationally, you're looking for a higher high. Maybe, you might be going to a party and a group of you are going to be sharing a joint, and you roll a nice big fatty and you throw a little bit of crumble in there because it's probably only going to go around 3 times. Okay. Whereas if you're a medical consumer, you've probably been consuming for a long time and your THC resistance is a lot higher, so you need more cannabis. So it's just like an extra way to boost your THC intake, as well as, like I had stated, the flavonoids, the terpenes, like the flavor.
Can I ask? Last episode we talked about shatter. What would be the primary difference if you were to try to pick one defining thing between shatter and crumble? What is, because both of them seem like it's kind of like this crumbled consistency, this little...
No,
because shatter's more smooth.
So
right?
Shatter looks like a sheet of glass.
Would shatter, when I've seen, okay, I'm trying to remember now I've seen, would shatter be more compared to the honey that came from the honeycomb?
No.
Then maybe I'm thinking of something else. All right.
I think so.
So it's consistency mainly, though.
Absolutely. Most of these things it's the process in which it's made. Like whether they use, I don't want to go too much into details because I'm not huge in teaching people on how to make this stuff.
No, that's okay. We don't need to go into that.
It goes into the process and how it's made. And I think a lot of these products stemmed from just like, I had a friend who was like, I'm going to make this oil. He was trying to make oil, and he used butane and a glass tube, and he ended up with something that didn't look anything like what it should.
Right.
Because in the creation process, he did something different, and he created a new end product. And I think a lot of this happened where people were creating this thing, and they're like, oh, it's a drier, crumbly texture than it should be. Okay. And instead of wasting it, because, like I said, you got to use a lot of cannabis to create a small amount of concentrate. So people were like, well, is it still good? Can I still use it? Yeah. And then they started realizing that crumble is just as good as the wax or the oil or the butter or the, whatever other concentrate there is out there. It's how it's produced.
That goes back to what I have talked many times about weed. Weed is not weed.
No.
Weed is not just weed.
No, not at all.
Right? So
Especially when you get into the distillation processes of it.
It's a lot like it's like baking, right? Like you can put apple and pastry together, and it can come out as a pie. It can come out as a tart. It could be in a crumble.
Yep.
And that's basically what it is. It's just another way to produce weed in a different form.
No, it gets even better.
Oh.
See, I always take cannabis that one step further.
Okay.
It's almost like saying not only do you have all of the options of what you're going to bake your apple into, but what about all the different varieties of apples?
Oh.
Right?
Right, yeah.
There's so many different kinds of apples.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right,
It's not weed is not weed.
Yeah, I'm going to end it there because my mind just got blown on that one. That was impressive.
Thank you.
You know what else blows my mind? Tim and Janice.
I was wondering. There's a
and
lot. I love Tim and Janice.
For those of you who have been watching, Tim and Janice has joined the show a few times. TikTok stars, Tim and Janice, hashtag Team Blue and Yellow. Check them out on TikTok. But we have been slowly asking them to come in and to talk about some of the topics of the day. We told them this one, okay. We told them that the theme was Diatomaceous.
Is that what you told them?
Well, I probably pronounced it wrong. And
did you type it out or did you have like a phone conversation?
Oh, I typed it out.
Okay.
But I've seen the word written down multiple times.
That's true.
So all I know is that Tim and Janice do Tim and Janice.
Yes.
And we don't give them any instructions, but somehow they took Space Day down an interesting route. So let's see what happens with Diatomaceous Day.
We learned a lot about them on Space Day, didn't we?
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, Tim and Janice.
Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Janice.
Today we've been asked to celebrate Diatomaceous Day.
No, Tim, Diatomaceous Day.
That's what I said, Janice. Diatomaceous Day.
No, Tim, Diatomaceous Day.
Diatomaceous Day.
Nailed it.
Well, it looks like they couldn't do it either.
Nope.
But they're in good company because I couldn't figure it out either. Now, it was lacking in overall information, but still entertaining.
Yes.
As Tim and Janice
As it always is, yeah.
Check out Tim and Janice on TikTok.
Hashtag Team Blue and Yellow.
Yeah, that video will be, they always share their clips on their TikTok thing, as well as all the other stuff that Tim and Janice are up to. So Tim and Janice on TikTok, hashtag Team Blue and Yellow. You have been getting me to watch stoner flicks.
Oh, yay. It's time for cinema review.
It is time for my cinema review. I've reviewed a few movies so far over our time and more to come, because one of the things that we said when we first started this podcast was that you wanted to show me much more of stoner flicks. And I've even already talked about movies that aren't necessarily stoner flicks, but they're flicks that are embraced by due to their quirkiness or weirdness. But this one is as stoner flick as you're going to come across.
So I am so excited about this one because I told you to watch this for a reason, specifically because it ties in with what gets me going,
Right.
Not because it's a great movie. It is a cult classic, apparently.
I'm not going to say one way or the other whether it's a great movie. I am going to do my cinema review.
Well, I was going to say I'm not going to say any more other than it is a cult classic. And I'll say why after if Timmy doesn't touch on it.
All right.
So I'll let you, because I'm so excited to hear this.
For my cinema review today, I am doing Evil Bong. It's a 2006 movie. When I saw it, I originally thought that it was like a 1980s. I mean, it relied on a lot of.
It's filmed that way.
Yeah. It's actually filmed very sitcom-ish. Like it's all pretty much done in like two settings. Even had some kind of like like the thing that I remember it as is like, I know you think it's an old reference, but the old Batman show, in between scenes would go,
I remember that. That was the part I liked.
And that's what this one had. It kind of had, it would, in between sections, it would have this like funky kind of like,
the smoke.
Leaf and the
smoke. Yeah,
right?
The green.
And then it would come back and they'd still be in the same living room. Anyways, it was, so from the moment I started watching this thing, I already knew where this cinema review was going. So ladies and gentlemen, Timmy's cinema review, Evil Bong, 2006. This movie can be summed up in 2 words that Bong users can most relate to: sucks and blows. The greatest evil I witnessed was whoever greenlit this project. For the record, I was not high while watching, so there's that. But I wholeheartedly believe that if you have to be high to enjoy a stoner flick, or any movie for that matter, then it's simply a bad movie. Within the stoner genre, I've actually seen some well-written films with good acting, interesting characters, and solid directing. Evil Bong is not on that list. And don't go blaming it on low budget. These people simply weren't trying. How do I know? Because their concept is a slam dunk in the right hands. An evil bong trapping its smokers in a deadly, albeit mesmerizing, strip club. That, my friends, is what the industry refers to as printing money. I hope the people entrusted with this precious gift were eaten alive by boobs with shark teeth. Eaten by what? You heard me. Shark boobs. Spoiler alert. When someone smokes the cursed bong, I don't know if it's supposed to be cursed or cursed, the cursed bong, it sucks their soul into an otherworldly strip club, where lap dances generally end with the dancee getting eaten by the dancer's boobs, which happen to sometimes be sharks or vampire skulls. Pick your poison. Full disclosure, I have entered a strip club once in my life. Without going into details, but making the understatement of the year, it was a bad experience. However, despite lingering PTSD symptoms and being down a few poorly spent dollars, I am alive. So there's that. Free advice to that club on Fremont Street in Vegas. Invest in a big bright marquee that highlights your overwhelmingly best feature. Our boobs won't eat you. It's like a motel that still proudly promotes having color TV, but it's something. Here is the movie as I best can remember. Stereotypical egghead, non-stoner Alistair, don't call him Al, rents a filthy room from stereotypical stoner Larnell that is also shared by stereotypical surfer stoner Bachman and stereotypical jock stoner Brett. They order a cursed bong, 'cause why not? It arrives and they smoke it immediately, 'cause why not? Death by skull boobs, masturbating witch doctor, disapproving grandpa, death by shark boobs, creepy gingerbread man, sexy pogo sticking, freaky jack in the box, death by red lip boobs, Tommy Chong, swallowing mystery pills, 'cause why not? Blow up the bong, everyone comes back to life except Tommy Chong, Hot Wheel cars driving through cleavage, and roll credits. If you're still interested in watching Evil Bong after that rapid-fire summary, buckle up for 86 minutes of it. Yep, 86 minutes. And feel free to catch the 7 follow-up movies that somebody greenlit along the way as well. All that said, I'd like to find at least one redeeming quality in everything. For Evil Bong, it came during the climactic closing sequence when Alistair, don't call him Al, confronted the bong with people should have the right to get high on their free discretion. Look, I don't agree with almost every creative choice in this movie, but I agree with that. To use or not use cannabis is a personal choice and one that should be respected accordingly. As a side note, we watched this movie as part of 13 Nights of Elvira. I suggest you do too. because The Mistress of the Dark literally makes everything better. I give this movie 1 joint out of 5 because I don't actually have a 0 ranking. Maybe I would if I didn't watch it as part of The Mistress of the Dark. So maybe she gave it the 1. Anyways, feel free to watch it, but I've pretty much told you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I would say that
Did I
that's
nail
pretty
it?
accurate. Yeah, I was surprised that when I went to look for that, there was, like you said, multiple sequels made.
They waited like 3 years, made another one. Someone went, hey, that's good enough to make another one. Then they waited a few more later, and then it was like year after year after year, like 5 years in a row or something, 4 years in a row, they put out another one. So weird.
Yeah.
I know there's B movies. This is probably a D movie. Maybe
I don't even know. I mean, like, if they didn't have Tommy Chong in it, I probably would have never even known that movie existed because he was the reason why I found it in the first place.
Like, I can say this. I want to go back to what I said earlier. This is nothing against stoner flicks because I've seen some really quirky, low-budget ones that are really... This one went down, and quite frankly, if it wasn't for Elvira popping in every once in a while,
that was pretty funny.
I might have zoned out completely, but I knew I had a cinema review to do, so I focused.
She had some good jokes.
She did.
Yeah.
I love Elvira.
I like the guy who's like, yeah, I'm the starter pitcher, and she's like, more like a catcher.
She was so
I
funny.
died.
If you don't listen, if you're on the younger end of things here and you don't know who Elvira is, let me just put out a little public service announcement here. Just Google Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Just Google Elvira.
Just Google E. Actually, I don't even know if that. I don't think that would work.
I don't think.
Anyways, there you go. There's my cinema review on Evil Bong.
That was a good one.
Thank you very much.
Much better than the movie.
I almost feel like I just unleashed a What Gets Me Going on low-budget, horrible films. But now we're going to lead right into your What Gets Me Going.
Yeah, and I set that up so nicely because what gets me going is dirty bongs.
Wait, can I just say this right at the beginning? What's worse? Dirty bongs or cursed bongs?
I've never met a cursed bong, but I've met many, many dirty bongs at people's houses when you go over and they're like, you want to smoke a bowl? And I'm like, meh, okay. And then they pull out this nasty bong from underneath the coffee table or from under the sink, and it still has water in it from how many days ago was that? I don't know. It's yellow and it's got brown chunks floating around in it, and it's people.
Remember, I was told I have to laugh like that.
Well, you're only supposed to laugh when it's funny.
Actually, that was funny. I enjoyed that, because I know how that it irks you.
It really okay.
I know. Like when
Can you grab the bong? I legitimately I don't even smoke bongs at other people's houses because they don't.
I've never tried a bong.
Here, can I see that?
Yeah.
I don't smoke bongs at other people's houses
That's
for
rubber.
that reason. Haha, I was just about to talk about this. This is silicone. So this is a special silicone bong, and I have not used this one yet. There's still toss up on silicone, but the reason why I bought this was this reason.
Oh, easy to clean.
Easy to clean, and everything comes apart.
Sorry.
And it's food grade silicone.
Just for the record, this reminds me of Qbert. Do you even know Qbert?
Qbert! He's on Pixels. Yes, he's on Pixels.
Yeah. Again. Okay. So this is on your list, younger people. Elvira, Qbert. We're just we teach everything on this show. That just reminded me of Qbert.
Okay. Yeah. So now that I've torn my bong apart, you want to put it back together?
Yeah.
All right. So, the reason why you don't want a nasty bong is a couple reasons. You're not even going to be able to taste your weed, your cannabis, the true flavonoids of the cannabis strain if your bong is nasty and disgusting. Because the way bongs work is the smoke has to go through the water and then into your lungs. So if it picks up all of the yicky stuff from the water before it hits your lungs, you're going to have that nastiness. So there's also health issues. And not to mention spilling the dirty bong. Nothing worse than nasty bong water spilt on a carpet because you know that shit's going to stink for months. Months. It's disgusting. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. So imagine water, when it's staying still, creates a biofilm. This is where the science comes in. Within 24 hours, you get a biofilm on top of the water.
Well, stale water, I mean, that goes into like marsh, like kind of gross, moldy marsh.
This is just regular water. If this cup was sitting here for 24 hours, it would get, what did I say it was? The pathogens? No.
Well, it has like that almost like
the biofilm.
When you see like oil, when you see like...
Yeah, it looks like all the dust collects on there and everything else. It's disgusting. And that's just a normal glass of water. Now, imagine adding mixed resin, like mixing resin and plant material into the bottom of the bong. That's perfect to create pathogens. Pathogenics.
I bet that word didn't start with D. We could have used it earlier.
Like E. coli bacteria, streptococcus, yeast, mold, mildew.
Oh, sure. You don't laugh at streptococcus, but you laugh at the phallic word. Sure.
I'm teaching. I got to be serious.
Just pick and choose your laugh points. Okay. All right.
Well, that was your segment. You see. So the tips to maintain a clean bong.
Okay.
I want to tell people, keep your shit clean.
Yep.
Empty your unit when not in use. Rinse it once a day with hot water. Do it at night. Then you can let it dry overnight. Once a week, you should be taking your bong and completely cleaning it, taking it all apart. You can use a product like off-the-shelf Orange Chronic, Formula 420, or you can just go buy isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and then mix that with rock salt or a coarse salt and shake it up. There are also other products if you would like to help keep your bong from getting dirty. What is dirty?
It's a D word. I'm going to mark that one down.
You better. So there's this product called Res Block. When added to the water, it actually repels the resin from sticking to the side of your unit.
Okay.
There is also a product called Bong Water Flavors. It's not flavored like bong water. I want to add that. The flavors are things like strawberry mango, peach grape. My favorite was apple kiwi or the pineapple. Okay. So that adds just a little bit of flavor. And I know some people say but that will change the flavor of your cannabis. But it's not like the juicy drops, which used to drip on your cannabis, and that changed the flavor of your cannabis. The bong water flavor actually just changes the air. That if you were to just breathe in, it would taste like pineapple. And then you would taste your cannabis. So there is that. And I just want to, this is my last thing I'm going to say about dirty bongs. Most people buy bongs for their like glass and their intricacies, their perks, their designs. Bongs are a thing of beauty. And you really should admire and respect them. So keep them clean, please. Not just for the bong, but for you as well. Your health will thank you.
So, I have a few questions and a statement. Number one.
Okay.
You have taken me into some cannabis shops. Mm-hmm. And I have seen some of the bong work.
Yes.
Like the glass work and stuff like that. Like they are. Like they're art pieces. I can't imagine if I was a... I can't say if I was a bong smoker, but I could see somebody not being a cannabis consumer having a collection of bongs. Like some of them are so incredibly intricate and detailed.
I tell you,
it's amazing.
This one here is silicone because we travel with it. Right. It's literally just a prop. But There's a glass unit I want. It literally just looks like a vase. I think it's called, the company is My Bud Vase or My Bud Vase, depending on what side of the border you're on. But it actually comes with like a rose pokey, and it looks like a vase. It's something that if you spun it around and set on your shelf with the vase on the top, your grandma would come over and go, "Oh, I love that."
Yeah, no, they look fantastic. So my question though is, do people who keep a dirty bong, is it solely based on like laziness and people who don't want to clean it, or are there people who say they like the extra flavor?
There's nobody that likes the extra flavor. It boils down to amount of usage. I understand. Think about this. I smoke a joint. Think of how often I smoke a joint. Yeah. Now think of how often they're going to be smoking a bong. Are they going to get up and go empty the bong every time and then fill it back up with clean water? Most of them, no. They sit there and they have their bong at the one spot, and then they go and they smoke their bong, and then they go back out.
Yeah, but okay, so let me talk from a non-consuming standpoint. I wouldn't sit down with a bowl of spaghetti, eat the spaghetti, walk away for a couple hours, work on a project, come back and put more spaghetti in that bowl, because the old spaghetti is all crusty in there. So what I'm just trying.
That's a great question.
I'm trying, like, that would
ask them.
Like, I would have that old crusty spaghetti on the bowl. I wouldn't even think about. I would take time to wash the bowl. Wow.
Yeah.
But this is a regular occurrence? Are you saying? Would you say?
Oh my God, yes. I know Trev would be behind me on this because he is a bong, like a glass connoisseur. I think his fiance told him no more bongs, no more glass. I think he's moved on to shoes now. But yeah, he absolutely drives him crazy. Dirty bongs. You go to his house, none of them are dirty. Not one. They're all clean on the shelf, and that's how they should be. So that way, if you want to use one, you go and you use it, rather than, oh, I got to clean that.
Yeah, it seems to me to be something that would just it would just be natural, like cleaning your dishes. When you're done using it, you would wash it. But hey, to each their own. Whatever. Some people have messy houses. Some people don't. Some people have messy bongs. Some people don't. I don't.
Just dump it out in between uses.
Right.
Even if you have to have, like, if you're that lazy, put a 2-liter bottle near you that's empty, and take your nasty bong water and dump it in your 2-liter bottle in between each ones, and have a clean one. So you fill it up with clean water and dump out the nasty water, so that way you're not running to the bathroom
so just do
the kitchen every time.
A little bit of prep.
But make sure you have a lid for that 2-liter. That shit stinks.
See, this is what I love about what gets me going. Because, like, this legitimately bothers you.
It does. And it's so funny because I was like, oh, what am I going to talk about this week? And then my friend and I were talking, and she had her little bong out, and I was like, yep, dirty bongs. She yanked hers out from underneath the bathroom sink. Didn't hear any water go in it.
Now, okay, is it taboo, though, to point that out to somebody?
No, God, no. I'm sorry. I'm the kind of person that if you've got a booger hanging from your nose or something, I'm going to like...
Have I had one?
No.
Okay.
No, I would tell you.
Yeah, that's
true. And normally I'm pretty discreet about it. I will say, like, Psst, I think you... And I'll point.
Okay, so you bring it up. You bring it up to people.
Yeah, but with a bong, I'll look at it and be like, yeah, I'm not smoking out of that. It's nasty. You smoke out of that? Yeah, I'm not shy about that.
All right.
So don't hand me a dirty bong. That's just if you don't want to get bitched at.
Okay, I wasn't gonna go down this rant, and it doesn't have to be. We're getting ready to wrap up this show now.
It's almost lunchtime.
It is. We're gonna go eat. But as a comedian who processes the whole concept of callbacks,
yes,
I'm always aware of what's been said before.
Yeah.
And I just can't let this go because it fits exactly in what we've already talked about. I just can't. I can't creatively. I would kick myself for going, but it connected perfectly to an earlier part of the show. So we end our show with a callback. Mm-hmm. I need to ask you this. Why does everything in the cannabis industry seem to have a phallic? Because we've joked about. Because we've joked
Grab
about
the
that.
pipe.
Right, this pipe. Yeah.
No, like legit. I used to sell things,
I'm not
and
wrong
they'd be
in
like,
thinking that, right?
No, a lot of guys would ask, why do they all look like that? And honestly, I don't think I've seen a pussy pipe.
I think we just lost our viewership.
I think we just tripled.
We'll see which way that goes. But it is true, because we've had that conversation. That was an interesting point. When we first got together, it was a very interesting point because I noticed it right away. Yeah. And I don't know who, I assume it's not a secret within the cannabis world, but I couldn't help but bring that up and at least ask that question.
I think it's a necessity.
We were cracking those jokes earlier in the show.
Because like even if it was round, no, we've made pipes you can make a pipe out of anything. Yeah. It can be round. Why are they all look like penises?
I don't know. Well, we are about to see if this was our last show ever, or not. But I don't know. Can you guys push? You can say this. I've seen worse on YouTube, way worse.
Yeah, I've seen worse on TikTok.
Believe me, 80% of YouTube is a dirty bong.
Yep.
20%.
Agreed.
Right? Ours is a very clean bong.
It's marbleized. Check it.
Marbleized. And made out of cool,
food grade silicone.
There you go. All right. Another great episode in the books, Mary Jane.
That's right. And I actually have my mug back to cheers you with.
Nice.
I'm not even going to say what we cheers with last time. You're going to have to check that out.
Yeah, that's an ending you won't want to forget. Last episode.
Or maybe you might want to forget.
I don't know. It could be better or worse.
I'm still trying to wash
episode.
my hands of it.
Who knows? I'm Timmy Boyle.
Mary Jane Baker. Stay lifted.
And keep on laughing.
And may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the newbie.
She's the doobie. And this is the show
where we
tote
cannabis.
Talk.
From both sides.
Is that even possible?